Let's talk about Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney, which comes out in January 2025. I was able to listen to this via the eARC, via NetGalley, and I loved it. I'll start off by saying it was a 5-star read for me, and I don't think that I've ever rated Alice Feeney's books that high, if even like rated them higher than a 3 stars. So this one was really so fantastic. I love what she's doing with her writing. I'll definitely pick up more from her if it's going to be of this caliber. That being said, this book was really wild, and I don't want to like dive into plot too much because I'm afraid I'm going to give things away. But basically, our narrator is a man. He's a writer, and I immediately found him unlikable. But he definitely grew on me over time. He starts off like very snobby. It takes place in the UK. The majority of the story takes place in Scotland, and he starts off like feeling and sounding kind of snobby, but he eventually, I think, humbles a little bit. And it takes place where he is struggling to write a book when it's about a year after his wife has tragically disappeared. And like we just kind of pick up where that leaves off, and he is like on this journey to write a novel, and he's kind of barely scraping by. What I will say without like giving things away is if you can get your hands on the audiobook of this to read it, I recommend that. It was genuinely scary at certain points because of the sound effects and like background noises that they put in. And even like some of the pacing of the text, like I'm sure if you had read it, it would have had like bang in big bold letters on the page. But for me, that doesn't always translate in terms of like having it interrupt the thought before that. But with the audiobook, you got that. So I was like genuinely tense and genuinely scared. I also think that it's important to know with this story, or I guess read it and let me know what you think, but every character in this is genuinely unreliable, which made this story so much more fun to try to figure out what the truth was. There definitely is some very tough content in here. There is one scene particularly that is graphic depictions of child SA. So if that's a trigger for you, please do not read this. I am not triggered by that, but I was like sitting there with like my jaw open. I was like, whoa, okay, that was, maybe it was listening to it versus reading it on the page, but that was definitely, strong. And there are themes of that throughout the story. But overall, I will say if you like any type of book that has to do with female rage, if you liked Gone Girl, if you like local woman missing kind of vibes, I really think you're going to enjoy this. But I definitely think don't look up a synopsis before you pick it up. Go in blind because it was very good. And like I said, I don't generally rate Alice Feeney books high. In fact, I kind of was like, I'll probably stop reading her. But not after this. It was very good.